All right, here we go. We are live. How's everybody doing today? I know it's a big college football Saturday. I like football, but clearly I'm not there. Clearly I'm not watching. Actually, living out in Texas, uh, it is a huge thing, especially since it's OU Texas weekend, and it's a pretty crazy time out around here. But I'm good. Glad to be here with y'all. I see a couple of y'all joining in. Pleasure to have you here. So I am today going to do some Q&A to start. I'm then going to, in the middle, record the video live for the new YouTube video, how to leverage LinkedIn in your job search. And then I'll come back and answer some Q&A. This is one of those times, it's nice on the weekends, things get to slow down a bit. Get to record a video, get to talk with anyone that's got questions and be able to be helpful here in your job hunt. So if you've got questions right now, leave them in the chat. I'm going to continue to get all set up with my notes. Mess with my lights a bit. Hopefully the Husky doesn't want out. Let's see there. No, that light is not far enough over. Oh well. Not that big a deal. Okay. I got some of those new Philips Hue lights. I just don't like when they bunch up. Fun fact, there's the Husky. Just having a great day. Just being lazy. So like I was saying before, if you got comments, put them down below. I'm going to do a video here in about 5 minutes. If I don't see any comments or questions, hell, it might go faster. I did this about a week and a half ago. It worked out really well. I just got busy over the last week, where I recorded a video. I did a video live stream with y'all. And then in the middle, I didn't respond to comments, and I just, through the center of it, did a script I made for a video to release, and then I cut the version of that out of the live stream and made it into a new video on YouTube. This way, I get to spend more time with y'all and less time editing, and we get to do it live. And then you can ask all the questions you want. So feel free, if you've got a question, put it in chat if you would. At the same time, give this a thumbs up and a like. Helps the algorithm share it on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I've been enjoying to do these, even though I know over the last week I haven't got to. I find it actually pretty exciting to do these, because we actually get to answer generally some really tough questions people have been having but don't know where or who to go ask. And by the way, if someone would tell me how is the lo-fi beats in the background? Is it? I turned it on, trying it out this one time, and I will get you that answer. Trace, let's see here. Oh, this might make noise. Oh, it didn't make noise. I'll put that in the chat. Let's see there. There is the link to my YouTube channel. I think it is under my same name. So, that is a great question. Should I connect with recruiters via LinkedIn to find a job, or is there a better way? Yes and yes. Well, yes and no. It's a multi-purpose answer without getting into like a huge, massive strategy class. Connecting with recruiters is just a good way on LinkedIn, but it goes about how you're connecting with them. I'm going to actually, as part of today's video and part of the script I have here, is I'm going to talk about this, but I'll give you a sneak peek into it. Finding the recruiters that are hiring most is going to be most impactful for you. At the same time, sourcing jobs that you're going to apply to, they already have recruiters identified for you to utilize. Those are two really great ways to, and there's two things to focus on. I'll show you here in a minute when we start this video exactly what you should do to find those recruiters, and then we'll go from that approach. So stay around for at least the next 5 minutes, and I'll show you and I'll give you the exact example. And I see the question there. If you want to get a job, Fidelity, what do you recommend as steps to make ourselves more desirable? Okay. So I cannot, to be very, very clear, I cannot talk on behalf of Fidelity. Um, so could you rephrase the question so I can answer it? Because with Fidelity in the statement, I'm not allowed to use it. I'm not allowed to talk on their behalf, even remotely close like this publicly. So could you do me a favor and just rephrase the question to be more general, and I will gladly answer it. And I say it because it's just one of the things they've made us take training there about. You can go do your stuff outside of work. That's cool. But anytime our name gets mentioned, we don't want you talking about us or trying to represent us. And I will happily follow their request on that. All right. So let's see here. Let's see here. I have my script up. I got that. Okay. I think we're about good to go on this. All right. So, like I told y'all before, actually, real quickly, I asked this before, and I see a couple of y'all commenting now. If you could tell me, is the lo-fi? I turned on lo-fi audio as a background. Is it a good level? Do I need to turn it down a little bit more? At the same time, is it because it's playing on my computer over here, but my microphone's over here? Is it reverbing all the way through? Is the lo-fi bothering, or is it a good level? Let me know in the comments because I can't hear it from y'all's side. Okay, thank you for rephrasing that. If we want to make ourselves more desirable to a specific company, what steps would you recommend we take to make ourselves more valuable? Wonderful. Thank you for doing that because now I can point to there was a question that wasn't based on them, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, to answer that question, what I actually would have a couple questions for you to get started. I'll ask them, but I'll move on as if I don't or I do or don't have them. But my initial questions to you be okay if you're wanting to know how to be more desirable. What have you been rejected for so far, or what have people told you the reasons why they weren't going to hire you or weren't going to give you an opportunity? Because I'd love to know the feedback you're getting because the feedback is helpful to also focus on this. But let's just assume you're getting pretty standard feedback of not enough experience. You're getting we would like the experience one is pretty common. I think a lot of people use it as like also escapes, like a way to easily escape. Like, oh, I just not enough experience. See you later. But other reasons people get it is technical savviness. They're not able to solve the problems live. There's a couple of these. But when we think about, okay, how do you want to become more desirable to them? If you're getting the experience feedback, this is where something like Upwork helps out immensely. Fiverr, not so much, but being able to go jump on and do some freelancer work. That is one way. And sometimes it's also open source work to go do. You have to give away your time for free. Happens. But it is also a really good experience, especially go work on like the Angular project, the Node project. I actually just saw today the Node steering or the Node committee, community committee was being disbanded, moving back into TSC. But that's completely irrelevant fact. But looking at getting yourself some other experience with Upwork, with open source work, these are great things to put on the resume that if you know that a company is looking for an Angular developer and Node developer, what can you do, right? Well, there's two really great open source projects there. At the same time, there's lots of other projects around Angular and around Node. Well, let's dive a little deeper into this. If you're thinking about how to really stand out to a company and you go to their website and see they use like D3 charts or they use an Angular library or something of this nature, and it's an open source project that you can contribute to and help out on, that's a really easy way to, if you're really pinpointing a company, you can help out with the technologies they utilize themselves. That's a really good way. Don't get me wrong, that's harder. That's more time consuming. We'll get to a couple. We'll cover a couple other ways that are not so time consuming, but that's a great way. Now, another great way besides just open source, right, is that freelance work to stand out more desirable. But you got to focus around something that drove value to companies and generally drives value to the customer, to the freelance person you're working with. And what I'm getting at here is a lot of projects inside of companies are short, are iterative. Yes, there are. You hear about the larger projects that take 2 to 3 to 4 years, but there are a lot more short, iterative pieces of work inside of companies that they'll have you do. To where if you can go get a contract outside of work and prove that you can do that exact same thing of taking on a front end with Angular, custom CSS, you can do analytics, you can do authentication, you can do some of these things, and you can show it, not in a project sense that had no value or no users. That's a really good way to start standing out. I also like to point out that uh, projects that actually drive users to use it. Prime example, I've had this idea for a while. I've told a couple people it, but something where your interviewer could use it as well. I came into one of our own students, even at Coding for Fastlane, was parsing Zillow information, web scraping off Zillow, parsing the information for a county, and then telling you if you wanted to go buy in that zip code what is the best two bedroom, two bath price, three bedroom, three bath, and then showing graphs and analytics for wherever you're interested in. Is it a good deal, bad deal, just based on the data in that zip code? And made it much more digestible. Now we know some of this information's out there, but most companies don't give it to you. So, prime example, when someone walks in and asks this person about your project, like, oh yeah, if you're moving soon, you should check out this project I was working on. It's a really, really easy way to build. I say easy way. It is not easy to build a project, but like a project that is meaningful to somebody else and meaningful to an interviewer that the interviewer could use. Now, one idea I had, because my family was doing a weight loss challenge a while back, and I realized there's no good websites to do a weight loss challenge for family members. So, like something like that, a lot of people try to lose weight, and a lot of people and families try to hold each other accountable and do competitions. And that's a project you could build that could have users and have use. I got a couple YouTube videos on this, so check it out. But there's three things so far to stand out to be more desirable. Now, where you really need to be more desirable to make yourself more valuable, desirable, is knowing your job market analysis. There's a video, if I can get YouTube, I think I can get it up. I think it's actually one of my more popular ones. Actually, in this resume playlist, I'll put it up on the, I don't think this is going to make noise. Yeah, actually, in this first resume playlist video, this is the best place to go check this out. In this resume playlist video, I cover the job market analysis and understanding what people want to hear out of you most and what they're looking for most. And if you watch that video and then do the resume analysis stuff, you'll find a lot of good nuggets of information in there kind of geared towards this. But I encourage you to check that out. That's pretty dang useful. A lot to say there. Lots of different random paths that since it's not a live chat, I can't actually come back and ask you, what are you most interested in for us to dive into? And I realize there's like a delay of 45 seconds. So I will record the video for now and then come back if you put any other questions. Put any other questions in the chat. Oh, yeah. Looks like I was trying to see if I could chat from Restream. I can't. Can't chat from Restream. I physically got to go over to LinkedIn. All right. So let's do this. So like I said, we're going to record a video real quickly. It's the new YouTube video coming out, and it's called How to Leverage LinkedIn for Your Job Search. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record it, but as I record, I'm going to pause for like 3 or 4 seconds so I have an easy place to cut in the live stream I'm going to record the video. Then I'm going to pause for a couple seconds. I say record the video. I'm not going to actually change anything. We're still live. And then I am going to come back, answer any other questions y'all leave in the chat. And then we're going to go from there. And I realize it's a Saturday, so if you want to hang around, fantastic. If you don't, if you got to go something to do with the family, have at it. Have a great weekend. But at the same time, hang around if you want to watch this video and then ask me questions at the end, because I'll make sure I come back and answer any other questions. And hopefully the Husky doesn't want out. So far, it looks like she's just going to hang with us for this live one. So we'll do this, and we'll have a good time with it. Let's see here. I think I am all set. I will cut the live link there. Perfect. And we'll do this in a second. All right. All right, here we go. So let's do this. All right. Let's see. What's a good hook? I always try to start with a hook or something entertaining. I don't know if I have anything entertaining off the top of my head. Yeah, not known much for being a comedian here. Let's see. That's one part of the script I actually did not focus on, was the whole intro hook. Oh well. We'll wing it. We'll do it live. All right. So I saw the number just spike. Real quickly, for those who just joined, I'm going to record a video. I'll come back to questions in about 10 minutes. I'm going to record a video. We're doing it live recording, so I'm just not going to look at comments and respond to them. I'm going to do the script I have for how to leverage LinkedIn in your job search. And we're going to do that live. I'm going to pause here, and we're just going to wing it and see what happens. I'm still trying to think of something funny to say to start. I'm not, or even like entertaining or like a decent analogy. I don't think of anything that great. Oh well, we'll just record it. And I had the other part scripted, and we'll just go with something. Have you been rejected time and time again because you don't have enough experience? Or are you not getting the interviews you want because you believe it's your resume, it's your LinkedIn, it's what you're selling overall they're not buying? And you're wondering, what can I do to get more interviews? Well, we've talked about resumes in the past, but today we're going to talk all about LinkedIn and how to leverage LinkedIn in your job search. And we're going to cover a couple different things. I've got a lot of stuff loaded up that I'm going to show you over here in a second. And we're going to start by covering recruiters, because I know that's one of the best places to start. But before we even do, if you want more content like this in the future, make sure to give this a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, notification bell, and follow for some more content that dives deeper, even deeper, into your job search inside of your resume, your portfolio, interviews, preparation, negotiation, a ton of great stuff that I want you to be a part of. So if that intrigues you, don't forget to subscribe. Like I just said, we're going to start today with how to leverage LinkedIn in your job search by talking about recruiters. Specifically, when I talk about recruiters, I'm talking about how do we leverage LinkedIn to get access to more recruiters? Well, this is a really easy way right here. And what we're doing is we're going to reach out and leverage LinkedIn to focus on advanced search queries, where we're going to search for technical recruiter and we're hiring. Now, you'll see here, I left it in the general search for the second because I want you to know that you can also develop, as you see commonalities in your network, you can search for advanced queries through posts as well. But granted, we're going to focus on people, but that is a quick note. But now that you're here, you can even narrow this down to your location. So if I'm in the Bay Area, but let's see, I used to live in Boston. Let's go for Boston. And if we put that in the search results, now you're going to see I've got 39 people in my area that are hiring. You can even go to all the filters though and start searching what type of industry do you want these people to be in. So you're starting to see very quickly, okay, so I can leverage LinkedIn to just look for recruiters that are hiring, and I can go expand outside of my area. Yeah, it's really easy, just like this. Advanced search queries, technical recruiter, and we're hiring is the way to do it. Now, this is just one of a couple tips we got today. And there's one more I want to add about recruiters before we move on to the job search, leveraging LinkedIn for that. It's that just finding recruiters that are hiring and messaging them is one way to leverage the system, but also finding the jobs that have the recruiters in it is very important for you because that is another way to get in front of recruiters that are hiring, but have that specific job that if you find for juniors, you already know they're more than likely to engage with you. I'll tell you this, last time I opened up a job rec, and even technically most recently, a majority of all people that apply do not message my recruiters, period. And it blows my mind to think that, oh, everyone out here has this advice and everyone's messaging recruiters. No, they're really not. It's not the easiest thing to do. Cold emailing or cold reaching out doesn't always feel like the best thing to do. And even then, sometimes it's not always the best, but what we have to do is be able to put ourselves out there and give ourselves the best opportunity. So remember that 2 ways with recruiters. But now if you're wondering, because this is my great transition point into it, well, how do I find the recruiters on these job postings? How do I find the right job postings? Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to show you an advanced query right here that we're going to now share on the screen. So this is one of my favorite ways to utilize a job search to help people is, okay, you're tired of all the stuff you see, right? You're tired of the jobs that say intern. You're tired of the jobs that say senior, right? Well, what's really cool about these advanced queries and what you see on the screen now is we can build a search that says, hey, I want a job that says junior in it. Parentheses, double quotes around it means it has to be in there, the word junior. At the same time, and all uppercase, this is part of their syntax they're looking for, and then you can wrap the and. Inside this and, you notice I'm saying software engineer or full stack engineer or front end or back end. And I'm looking for multiple different names that could fall under what I'm looking for. And then I hit them with the not senior, not intern. You could get really advanced here on the end and say not parentheses, senior and intern and SR for senior. There's a lot of things you can do. Here's a really cool thing about how you're leveraging now LinkedIn for your job search is when you start to see a commonality of bad jobs, look for keywords in them that you can source them out or siphon them out of the process with. Now, pay attention to your numbers because if you do it and you only find 2 or 3 jobs in the 99 and then you make an update and you take out 20, well, double check how you did it. But advanced search queries right here with the job search, absolutely crucial way for you to leverage LinkedIn. And I highly encourage it because it'll save you a ton of time because you would not believe The amount of people that come to me telling me I'm spending way too much time trying to find the job. And if you find the right advanced search queries, you can start to shave that off. Let's continue on. Your profile and how many times it's been viewed is extremely important in what or how LinkedIn thinks about you. Because who has viewed your profile and how many times lately is really insight into how much LinkedIn's helping you. So when we talk about how to leverage in your job search, you're going to see here, I'm going to pull up my profile, and you're going to see actually over August, I did a lot less engagement. I personally did a lot less content, did a lot of things are going on this time. But when you are actually engaging, doing more comments, doing more things on the platform, this is a way to leverage, are you doing what you need? What I find is you should be averaging at least 60 views per week for the baseline of any job hunter. Clearly, I know also I'm not a job hunter, so my chart is a little bit different, but this is where I just want to show and point out, this tells me how much you've engaged in doing a bunch of different things, because if you're using the platform effectively and you're leveraging it, you should be averaging only 60, and you should be around 900 views over the last 90 days. And if you can do that, you'll see a lot of organic outreach on LinkedIn's behalf that comes to you. This is just a small note to pay attention to that number, because it's directly correlated to everything you do. Now, the LinkedIn profile views, that's a nice little tidbit, but really, there's two places to dive in extremely deep in leveraging LinkedIn. And I'm going to show the page now. But one is the search appearance page with what searchers do and what keywords your searchers used. Let's show that now. Now, keep in mind, right, my numbers are not meant to be a representation of what you should be expecting. But this number indicates what you have below is statistically significant enough. If you have at least over 100, you're going to start to see the data is actually meaningful and impactful. If your number's lower, this is kind of a direct correlation of the profile views. If your profile views aren't high, this number generally isn't that high. But with engagement, and we're going to get to an engagement actually, which transitions into the next point about how to engage more. But if you're engaging and utilizing the platform, this data will populate. Now, I'm going to turn the keywords search off so we can see it there. And this is what I want you to see. Because when you're leveraging LinkedIn for your job hunt and you want to know exactly how LinkedIn thinks about you, this is exactly how. Because LinkedIn gets paid a lot of money to sell you to the right recruiter at the right time, at the right place. So I'd be damned if they didn't know who you were, what you were about, or what type of people to recommend to you. And they also show you this information, which is phenomenal for you, because now you can start to understand, what do my searchers do? The numbers you need to be shooting for: 30 to 50% recruiters, 20 to 30% developers, which can make up to 80% of your audience. You'll never really get past that because you'll always get the random salespeople, business strategists, founders, people that are also coders, but they're just categorized as something else. This is eye-opening to your audience. If your audience is all messed up, also helps you not attracting the right people. Or it tells me you're not attracting the right people because your resume is probably not built right, but this is the clear indicator of your resume, how you're selling stuff, and how everything's written. And what you'll find is this is harder to dial in, but if you have some really weird words on here, like your past jobs, like your past, well, I have an actual waiter story about a senior waiter. I've told this one before on live streams and other videos, so I won't bore you all with it in this video. But I found that it will pair a senior waiter job with a software engineer experience at a boot camp and make you a senior software engineer. It's wild, it's crazy, but this will tell you here if it thinks you're a senior software engineer, or it'll tell you what it thinks you are and the keywords you're recommending. So if you find any keywords here and you find them and you don't know what to do, feel free to reach out or email me and message me about it. But this is where you're going to have to focus on it and find a way to cut it out or rephrase how you're saying it and make sure LinkedIn doesn't think you're something you're not based on how you're selling stuff. Now, as we get into this next transition point of what you have to do, which is engagement, there's one thing I want to say before we move over there because it's important. And that is what you saw there. If you don't have high enough recruiters, one of the easiest little hacks, and it's not even like a hack, it works really well. You just can't do it forever. If you want to up the number of audience to give LinkedIn another tell, like once you've optimized your profile and stuff, if you want LinkedIn to give you another shot to send more recruiters your way, if you just go connect with 100 recruiters a day for the next 2 weeks, that number will shoot up. You'll get more searches that are recruiters, and you'll see the type of words they're using to check against you. At the same time, then you can utilize the same strategy to go connect with other engineers. And so now you can get these two numbers up and get back technology focused with just connecting with people. Really, really easy way to get the numbers back in your favor. Because what's interesting here, and I've heard the opposite side, well, that's a waste of time. It's not, because you know why? If you can get LinkedIn for the next week or two to recommend more searches that are recruiters, it's a really organic and easy way to get more recruiters on your page just by connecting with other recruiters, because now they're going to recommend you, because when you connect with recruiters and recruiters come to your page and they stay on it even for just 10 seconds, LinkedIn will show you to another recruiter in the future. So really easy tactic there and way to leverage is just connecting with people. Now let's talk about the next thing, another way, because this comes back to my point about engagement. When we talk about engaging, it's easy, but you got to do these at least 25 engagements a day. But it's easy because all I need you to do is go like, comment, and share. And if you just want to like everything, that's fine. Like, just go down the list and like a bunch of stuff. That's fine. I'd encourage you to like more of what's in your style, because LinkedIn will show you more of it. But when you comment and engage, it's going to drive more value and thoughtful conversation that will bring people back to your profile potentially. Now, the one post in there, I'm putting one post a day if you can. Realistically, just 3 times a week is great, but post something about your struggles, post something about your learning, post about your job hunt. This video is not meant to go in depth of how to actually do the posts. I'll do other videos on that, but it's to say to put something out there, because it's another extremely easy way with you just taking 20 minutes to write 10 lines, put it out there, and you might get 1 to 2 people that come to it. And I know from fact, working with students, that it's not the silver bullet for everybody, but it works for a lot of people and really does help out. And so as you see, if you're starting to do all these things we're starting to talk about, you see how you can really start to leverage the platform for what you want most. Now, let's talk about the inevitable, how to leverage LinkedIn is your profile. And what I want to show real quickly and talk about this with is your physical page. A couple things. Actually, really, the one main thing in this video is you need to have your keywords in 6 different sections. And what do I mean by sections? So you have your header section. You can put keywords up here. At the same time, you have featured sections where you can post about the things you do most inside of maybe the MERN stack or JavaScript. At the same time, you've got the activity section. These two kind of, quote, align together, but you have your about section. This is a great place where you can talk a lot about your skills. You have your experiences. You can put keywords in your experiences. You have education sections where you can put the keywords again and talk about what you learned and put more keywords. You have skills and endorsements. You have recommendations. You have accomplishments. Inside accomplishments, you have projects. You can put projects and links to go click stuff. And then you can make sure you can join groups. Not necessarily have to have the exact keyword, but are based on what you want. So you can fill up in every section your profile with the keywords you want most. And then I say the keywords, the thing that you want to do next is what you should be selling the most. And that's what we're going after here. And that's just a quick to the point of optimizing the profile. There's lots of other videos on LinkedIn or on YouTube, on LinkedIn about how to optimize. That is not what this one's about. So I'll stop it there and continue on to my last point, because the question you're probably asking at this point is, what keywords do I choose, Jason? How do I know which ones to choose? And you know what? I'm really glad you asked that question because we need to do some keyword research. And this is one of the things that this is just time consuming, yes, but it's so valuable because what I need you to do to leverage LinkedIn now is I need you to come search for Node.js versus Node.js with no space. At the same time, what happens if you put a dot in it? You're going to notice that this looks like the other one, space, dot, same thing. But at the same time, then, okay, if Node.js doesn't make a difference and it's 117,000, what's more important? Is it React or is it Node? Oh, well, damn, 117,000 compared to 62,000. Okay, all right, that's pretty, eye opening. So when I think about my keywords, it's not like I can put every keyword under the sun. You generally got to pick about 4 to 5 keywords that are going to be everywhere throughout your resume, or not your resume, your LinkedIn. But then you can use LinkedIn to do keyword research and see, what's more useful here. Postgres, Node, React. What does my audience care about more? And this is a really easy way to also research what do you want to call yourself? Do you want to call yourself a full stack engineer with 150,000 options out there? What happens if I take away the space? Well, damn, that just dropped off 100,000. Now, I realize you will want to take into account your experience level, but experience levels aside for the second, that's 100,000 jobs that just dropped off by switching names around. And at the same time, if you call yourself like web developer, huh, people seem to think this is pretty popular, but it's not popular as one would think as full stack engineer. At the same time, if people want to call them front end engineer or you want to call yourself something different, just check the data. It's one of the most important things you can do to make sure you are on point with what LinkedIn values the most. And so throughout this video, as I sum this up, you're starting to see a ton of tips from how we can leverage recruiters, how we can use our job search. We can check on who's viewed, use the data in our favor to understand how to get better, make sure we're engaging with people posting content, we're optimizing our profile, making sure our keywords are around. And last but not least, then keyword researching to understand what does the platform care about most with what I want. And when we can start to do these things, you can start to see how you can understand where you drive value on this platform and how to get the most out of LinkedIn. Now, this is just the start. There's so much more inside of LinkedIn. So I encourage you to subscribe, like it. If you could right now, take the time to hit that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. But subscribe for more of this in the future. And stay tuned because there's lots of LinkedIn stuff coming out from our way. And we're going to show you even more than we did today in the near future. And until then, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see y'all again soon. All right, so for those watching live, that's what I was talking about of how I recorded the video in the middle of this live session. You saw I paused there for 5 seconds. I'm just going to come back, chop, cut either side off, and then post it on YouTube as its own video. So that way I don't got to spend hours editing, and now we're here and we can just jump on in and answer any Q&A. So let's see, what do we have for Q&A today? Oh yeah, there's some Q&A. Let's see here. How important is it to having an external link to your projects and not just using a GitHub link to see the code? So for some reason on my chat, it just says user. It doesn't show me the name. Let me see if I can find the name if I come back to it. Daniel. Okay, I don't know why Restream didn't show me that. So I'm hoping that I see the no sound comment. But okay, is it important to link the projects, not just GitHub link? So wherever you place them, Daniel, it's important that you give them the ability to do both. So if you send them a GitHub link, that has access to a README, then I expect you to deliver me an experience on the README that allows me to look at the code, look at the project, look at what I'd like to, maybe even your documentation. So don't just send them straight to the code, but more often than not, you're sending them to the repo. That's fine. Just don't send them to like a code page. Send them to the README and let the README do the selling for you. Let the README say, hey, if you want to see a demo, click here. Let's see what else we got here. No sound. Keyword research is extremely helpful. I use Google Trends to check keywords when I'm tweaking my resume. I didn't realize I could do it on LinkedIn too. Oh, yes, Curtis. Do it. Do it. You'll absolutely love it, and you'll find how to spell the keywords. You'll find which keywords are more important than others, and it'll be great. I found that people use spaces more and hyphens less. Yes, yes, yes. Full stack pops up the most. Yep. Full stack versus full stack. Thank you for the tip. You're welcome. It's wild to think that space means all the difference in the world. Question, Sandra, do you recommend using LinkedIn Premium? It is helpful if you use it. Like, the biggest problem I see with it is more often than not, they take money and people don't do a damn thing with it. What I find if you use, and I've seen this statistically for my students because I ask my students to do a lot. If any of my students are around, I'm sure they'll say in the chat, yes, he asks for a ton. But I ask for everything on there. I ask for engagements. I ask for comments. Some of the things you saw me talking about today. If you do that, LinkedIn Premium, you can get on average 5 to 10% more out of your views, out of your posts. We tested this about a year and a half ago and like watched it with students, watched numbers, tested stuff. It was really actually interesting to see. But for those who didn't, they didn't see a notice at all. Like they didn't see a difference at all. For the ones who just didn't do anything, just signed up. So that's the really hard part of LinkedIn Premium. Is like it can be good if you use it. Like the top applicants part on the jobs page, if you haven't optimized your profile and you haven't filled out all your skills, because that skills section on your profile actually helps them give recommendations where you're a top applicant at. Well, if you only filled out like 10 skills, they're never going to recommend you. And even then, I don't think the recommendation engine that they have is absolutely perfect, but the more you give them, the better they do to give you better jobs. And over time, it's been getting better and better. So if you're going to use it, yeah, I find it's extremely helpful. But if you don't use it to the max, if you don't do 25 engagements a day, if you don't even try to post once or twice, maybe even 3 times a week, it doesn't really drive enough value. It's a nice to have, being able to send emails to people and whatnot, but quick tip, hack, you ready for this one? This will probably come out in another video down the road. You can message people for free as long as you join in a group with them because you can group to group message. So there's that tip. You can actually join in a group with me and you don't have to then email me. Granted, you can message me anyway. You don't have to email me at all. But like one of the ways to go talk to people you want to is go to their profile, go down to the groups they're in, join some of their groups and message them from the group if you need to. Then you don't have to use email. Let's see here. Let's see. Is there anything else y'all have questions on today? As I realize we're coming to the end here, questions have slowed down. That's A-okay. I appreciate y'all. I'll hang around for another minute to see if there's any other questions coming through. But I appreciate y'all taking the time on a Saturday. I realize that you don't have to be here on a Saturday. You could be watching college football. You could be doing anything else. But you chose to spend some time with me today, talk about how to leverage LinkedIn, get a couple questions answered. I really appreciate you taking the time. I hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend. I might do one more of these this weekend. I don't know. We'll see how much time I have. I need to get one more video out for next week that I really want to get recorded, and I might as well do with y'all tomorrow or later today. I think tomorrow will probably make most sense. But then we'll be in touch. Have a great rest of your day, y'all. I will see y'all. So there is one that came through last minute there. Oh, you're welcome, Chris. You mentioned reaching out to specific recruiters for a given job. If you get it from the company's website, where do you find the recruiters? So you can check Let's do this. I'll show this and then I'll stay. All right. So we'll, oh, not there. Let's do this. Let me show you. Share my screen one more time. So if we go to something like Lowe's, you go to their company page, you can look at people. You can come here and search for recruiters. You can find the recruiters. And so when you think about you applied on the company's website, you can still find them. And as it is, I know Lowe's is obviously going to have more in this example than most people, but the point still stands. You can find a recruiter. You can find an acquisition partner. You can find, and if you're looking at the titles and paying close attention, you should be able to find someone that is very, well, probably talkative on LinkedIn, very open to networking, open and connecting. So yeah, this is a really easy way to go find the recruiters you're looking for most. But I'll leave it at that today. Thank you all for joining on. Thank you all for staying. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all again soon. If you got questions, don't afraid to DM me. I might not be responding today because I might go do a couple things. Might do some chores outside. Probably the weekend projects never end. And go do some of that, and then I'll be back later or tomorrow. But have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.